person that sent me this story called it "What Was Lurking Outside My House." Ooh. By the way, if you have a story that you'd like to share with our glitch community about glitches in the Matrix, dreams, aliens, cryptids, or the paranormal, you can send it to this email address. And remember, we believe you. Hello. Hi. My name is Courtney. I live in Helena, Montana. Is it Helena or Helena, Montana? A little backstory. I moved in with my husband about 2 to 3 years ago. We live on 5 acres in a mountainous area a few miles from a lake. That sounds fucking beautiful. I just want to say that. We have 4 dogs, a corgi. If you know me, I love corgis. English bulldog, German shepherd, husky mix, and a border collie. And only one of them barks at everything, the corgi. I have only ever seen the 3 larger dogs bark at someone with a flashlight looking into my windows, and the only other time was at a bear, never at a deer. January-ish of 2025, around 11 o'clock p.m., my husband was at his overnight job, and I was laying in bed when my dog started going nuts. The corgi was on the end of the bed staring out the window, barking with his hackles up. The English bulldog was sitting right next to me, growling and barking with his hackles up while staring out the same window as the corgi. Our window shades were closed. The German shepherd mix and border collie were at a closed bedroom door, growling and barking with their hackles up. While they were barking and growling, I had this terrifying feeling, not just from them barking, but a full body chill, terrified feeling. I couldn't hear anything outside. I called my husband in a panic, and he said to stay in the room and he would check the property when he got home a few hours later. A few hours later is a really long time to stay in the house, husband. After about 20 to 30 minutes of them freaking out, they settled down and came to check on me. After they settled down, about 10 minutes later, I grabbed one of the dogs and searched the house with her. Brave. Our living space is 1 level with 1 bedroom, and no one was inside. I went back to the room and sat there silently listening for any noise that may be outside. After about 30 minutes of trying to figure out what could have caused them to freak out, the English bulldog needed to use the bathroom, and so I gathered myself and walked outside with him on a leash. He paused just outside the front door and was scanning the yard, which he never does, and slowly walked further out into the snow and used the bathroom, all while scanning the area. Once he was finished, I searched for any animal tracks near the house. It had freshly snowed, and I saw near the front door were cat-like paw prints. These prints were not small enough to be a house cat, but not big enough to be a mountain lion. The weird part was, just to the left of the door, they just randomly appeared. They didn't come from any other direction. They just appeared there, and it walked directly against the house. My dog and I ran inside quickly. I couldn't explain in that moment how it could have appeared like that, but I chalked it up to being a bobcat, even though we never have them near our house. When my husband got home, he searched and saw that they were actually baby deer prints, which is very weird to me, as my dogs, other than the corgi, do not bark at deer no matter how close they get. Even stranger part is that the deer prints just disappear after turning the corner of the house. There's absolutely no prints leading away from the house. And what deer, even a baby, would get directly up against the house with dogs barking? This year, in January, I was trying to quit vaping and went to have my last smoke break outside before bed around 1 o'clock a.m. I had a chair outside our front door to sit in while I smoked. After closing the door behind me, I scanned the area with my phone flashlight to see if there were any deer or other animals nearby, so neither of us would be startled. I saw absolutely nothing. It was a quiet night, as we don't have insects or birds making noise during this time of year, and there was no wind. I sat down in the chair, still scanning around just to be sure, and after a few minutes, I hear this loud, deep, guttural growl right beside me. I didn't turn around to look and see what it was. I just ran inside as fast as I could. I don't know what it was, but it didn't sound like an animal or a human. The ground had no snow, but had dried leaves and sticks everywhere. You wouldn't have been able to step anywhere without making noise, but I heard absolutely nothing before that growl. My senses are always heightened when outside alone due to previous activity from animals at my last house I lived alone at. Not hearing anything before the growl absolutely terrified me. I have not been outside alone since. I don't know what it could have been. What do you think was lurking around my house? The end! I'm gonna be straight with you. I don't know. I don't know. If it was deer prints, okay, let's go with that, right? Let's be Sam and Dean Winchester right now. Let's hit the books. Let's check the lore. If it's deer prints, what beings make a deer print? Okay, we have a deer woman, which apparently is a spirit. I've never heard of a deer woman. A spirit of an oral tradition of various indigenous peoples of the Great Plains of Eastern Woodlands. She often appears as an alluring human woman, but her true nature is revealed by her deer hooves, which leave distinct tracks in snow or dust. Okay, so deer woman. A not deer. We've all heard of the not deer, right? A viral internet cryptid rooted in modern Appalachian folklore. Sightings describe creatures that look like white-tailed deer at a glance, but possess uncanny traits upon closer inspection. Most unnervingly, disjointed movements, incorrect jaw proportions, or walking upright on their hind legs like a bipedal entity with hooves. Then we have a deer man, a regional cryptid reported in parts of North America and Canada. Accounts describe a hybrid form with a stag's head and antlers paired with a muscular torso and bipedal legs or hooved feet. And then we have a Wendigo. Originating in the Algonquin traditional lore, the Wendigo is a malevolent, cannibalistic spirit, while traditional stories describe a gaunt or giant humanoid, ice-hearted monster. Modern pop culture and internet horror communities frequently conflate it with a skulled or hooved deer man imagery. Okay, so these are the 4 big ones, I think, that it could be. Deer woman, a deer man, a not deer, or a Wendigo. I'm going to say not a Wendigo because I feel like the Wendigo, right, a thing of theirs is that they're like, you don't see them a lot. You'll first hear them. Don't they like use the screams of their last victims or something to like lure you in? Isn't that a thing? But maybe it was one of the other ones. I don't know. It has to be something, right? Obviously it's something, but it has to be not a regular deer because like they said, a deer wouldn't be just like walking up against the fucking house. Also, how is it coming out of nowhere? The prints are starting out of nowhere and they're ending out of nowhere. Like if it was like a regular thing, there would be tracks leading up to and leaving, but there wasn't. So that's weird. And the fact that all of your dogs, like Corgi aside, all of your dogs had an issue, something was wrong. Like it was definitely something not human and not a deer. This is really scary. I'm glad you're okay. What do you guys think it was? Do you think it was a deer woman, a deer man, a not deer, a Wendigo, or something else? Let me know in the comments.